name is Scott. I'm a medium and psychic, and we are live. We're going to learn about building our psychic flashcards. Now, if you don't know what a psychic flashcard is, that's okay. I think I kind of coined the term. Maybe I didn't, but I think it's sort of my thing. And I'm going to explain to you what that is, how you probably already have a lot of it built into you already, and if you don't, how to do it for yourself and get ready so that you can start understanding signs and symbols from the other side. It's pretty easy. This is basic stuff. Remember, I am a normal dude and I teach some really cool abnormal stuff like mediumship and psychic abilities. Cody, what's up? Spaced Out WRX is in the house. Terry Swift, what's up? How are you? Cody, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Here we go, Cody. Let's see. There you go. And you're modded. Hi, everybody. Terry Swift. Nice to see you there. Wanty's World's in the house. Tiffany Bowman and Beverly. Nicole Wilson. Renee Hawkins. Nice to see you there. Vanessa, Barb, Terry, Jerry. What's up? Tina and Teresa Pope. Todd Tim is here. Alice, what's up? Nice to see you there. How is everybody doing? Amanda, nice to see you there. Welcome in. Mary Gross, how are you? Brittany Martin, nice to see you. Come on in. If you're new, welcome in. My name is Scott. Again, I do spirit-led mediumship readings right here on YouTube, but I also teach mediumship and psychic abilities right here on your favorite place to learn those sorts of things. Hi from Victoria, from you and Elizabeth. Hi Elizabeth. Hey, Amy TV Art, AI Harker's in the house. Maddie's mom is here. What's up? Nice to see you there. JW's in the house. Carol Reif is here. What's up from West Virginia? Nice to see you there. Liana S says hello. Welcome in. KC from New Jersey. Thank you for being a super fan. Welcome in. Let's hit. Oh, I don't know how loud this is going to be. I had it up pretty loud the other night. Everybody's trying to sleep. There we go. You ready? Thanks for being a super fan. Samantha, welcome from Maryland. What's up? How are you? Stephanie, Sarah, what's up? Nice to see you there. Amber, Jessa, welcome in. So, one of the perks of being a fan and a super fan is I always make sure to shout you out as you come in. Teresa Pope throwing out some emojis. Nice to see you there. How are you? Trudy, what's up? Nice to see you there. So how many people here have learned anything so far from me in the short time that we've been here on YouTube? Have you learned anything about your mediumship abilities, your psychic abilities, anything about opening your third eye or meditation? If you have, just let me know down in the comments if you've been doing that. Todd says, I'm a fan. Thanks for being a fan, Todd. Appreciate you. I keep tapping the screen. It's such a habit. Yeah, keep doing it. There's a little heart button you can find to tap away. Hi, Shelly. Nice to see you there. I learned more about meditation and my mediumship. Nice. Awesome. Yep. Learn to relax. Excellent. Renee. Yes. Excellent. I've been so lost. Well, welcome in, Annalisa. Hopefully we're going to help you be able to take care of that. John Cena's retiring from the WWE. That's sad. Is anybody going to know that he's gone since we can't see him? Tiffany Bowman Boyd using all the emojis. Nice. How do you know if you have any abilities? Well, we'll talk a little bit about that in this class, and that's part of what this is. Hi, Diana Weeks from Australia. Nice to see you there. Fellow Aussie Cody is in here with you. Had changed my name so you can't tell my government. That's funny, Britt. No worries. I'm ready to learn more. Awesome. So, it's Anna Holmes. What's up? Oh, Sanspiro, thank you so much for becoming a fan. That is magical. Thank you. So, the reason you want to become a fan or a super fan is tonight is sort of a free preview night. So Wednesday nights is for teaching mediumship, but I usually only do it for fans and super fans. So if you are learning from me, you can always watch us on the replay for everybody. But however, if you want to ask me questions live, this is the time where I answer those. Okay. So tonight's topic is our flashcards. Now, I have cards all over my house, and they are not your typical flashcards. They are things that you would expect in a house that has a medium or a psychic in it, right? We have some tarot cards. Now, what if I told you that tarot cards are just kind of flashcards? What do you guys remember? Anybody who has kids or grandkids, or maybe you were in the education system, or you remember from when you were a kid? Sinfully, thank you so much for becoming a fan. Magical. So you remember when you were a kid and somebody would hold something up and they'd be like, what's this? And you'd say, well, that's a flower. Okay, good job. That's a flower. Okay, let's do another one. And then you'd say, what's that? Maybe you'd say, oh, that's a man. Okay. So our oh God, don't make me remember math flashcards. Don't worry, we ain't messing with no math. So one of the things that I learned when I started doing mediumship was my entire life. Crystal, thank you so much for sending out a super fan. Oh, thank you so much. Um, so you remember um, that oh my God, I had to remove somebody. Anyways, so you remember when you were a kid, you had these flashcards, right? And as you were growing up, you kind of forgot about the flashcards because you learned about the world in your environment around you, right? So we have behind me, you guys, I'm pointing to this. What is this thing right here? Get and tell me. Mods, feel free to bounce anybody's being inappropriate. Um, so if you know what that is, you can tell me, hi, Yolanda, and I see it. It's a heart, right? It's a heart. And you all know what that is because you learned it at some of your because you learned about it, right? Growing up, okay? So, yeah, it's a heart. That's all it is. That's what it is. A little heart, right? And next to it is a snowman. And I can point to everything and you can identify them because at some point in your life, you learned about what those things were. And now you can visually identify what they are just by looking at them by sight. It's pretty interesting, right? Hey, everybody, nice to see you there. So, what would you say if I told you that in your lifetime, you have built a repertoire of psychic flashcards in your mind, and you probably don't even know it. So there are moments in your time, in your life that you have received messages from the other side or from the environment around you, and you've already instinctively interpreted them and understood them. So I'm going to teach you about how to do that on purpose and then how to use it going forward so that when you're getting messages from the other side, you won't doubt yourself. Okay. So that's what we're going to teach her. It's something I had to learn. Um, and it's important. Hi, Lisa. She says, "Oh no, I was being genuine. I swear. I don't know how I got here." Well, welcome in. We're learning about mediumship and psychic development. So if you ended up here, it means that somewhere along the way that YouTube thought that you needed to see somebody like me. And welcome in. It's nice to have you here. So let's start with this. Everybody who's watching, do me a favor. If you're watching the replay, you can do this, of course. Just take a nice deep breath. Just like that. Okay. We breathe in a little bit and we breathe out. And we just get relaxed. Okay. Now, last week we talked about seeing images in our mind, and I know that some of you can't do that, and we'll talk about some other psychic flashcards in other ways. But right now, we're going to really push in on the visual flashcards that we see when our eyes are closed, okay? So last week I described to you the apple, okay? I described to you an apple, all right? So I see that, Rebecca. I'll grab that in a second. We'll talk about that because that's important. That'll fit in right what we're talking about. So when we close our eyes and we think about the apple, you can see the apple, right? So I'll describe it really quick and we'll move forward. So when I talk to you about an apple, I tell you to close your eyes and I'm going to tell you what it looks like. This is your psychic flashcard for an apple. It doesn't matter what you think. I'm going to give it to you. Okay. Your apple, if spirit wants to show you apple or you need to get the idea of an apple, your apple is going to be a bright red apple with little flecks on it. It's going to have a brown stem with a green little leaf on it. And it just is going to sit in the darkness in your mind's eye. That's all you can see. Okay. Now, that is your apple. Anytime spirit wants to say something important about an apple, that's what they're going to show you. Okay. And I'm going to show you how that came into play because our lovely friend Rebecca Thomas came in and said this nice thing. And this helps us as we go. Okay. So if you're watching the replay, I'm going to read this out loud and then I'll explain to you why this is important about your psychic flashcards. Okay. So Rebecca said, "Hey, Scotty, I wanted to let you know that the message you gave me last week on Dalen's live feed about the crayon mural was spot on. My friend's Sea of Life celebration of life was Saturday, and her son did one for her. Okay, so I remember that I kept saying that there was something very important. Somebody kept holding up a box of crayons, right? You all know what a box of crayons looks like. They held up a box of crayons for me and said there's some, and then they showed me the color spread out like really far. So to me, that meant that somebody did a very specific thing in crayon, and it was a picture for the person who was deceased. And the person who was deceased was the one telling me that. Now, how did she accomplish that? Since I can't talk, I didn't hear her say it. She literally held up a box of crayons, and I saw the word Crayola. I am very familiar with that box. I remember them from when I was a kid. We have them in the house for my kids. And then she showed me something that's supposed to be big. So what do we get when we combine crayons and something big, like a mural, right? So those are my two psychic flashcards to help me combine those things and understand that she was trying to tell me that there was a correlation between the crayons and a mural. And here we have Rebecca saying that that woman's son made one for her, okay? Vanessa, we're going to talk about aphantasia as well. We'll be able to get you going, okay? It's not scary at all, Lisa. So is there anything scary about seeing a box of crayons in your imagination? Is there anything scary about seeing a duck in your imagination? No, not at all, right? And that's part of why we're doing this, to help take the scary out of it. Okay, it's very important that if anybody who wants to develop their mediumship and psychic abilities and get to a level where you can effectively communicate with those on the other side and bring a message through, you need to open up all of those spaces in yourself and understand there's nothing scary happening here. It's scary because people have told us in our lifetime that it's a scary thing, or we shouldn't do it, or whatever the reason is. I don't bring religion or politics to anything that I do. I just say that these are my experiences, and the best way for anybody who wants to learn about my experiences is I can tell you about them, and you can apply them in your own way to make your life better, hopefully, in any way that you can, okay? So, so what we're doing is we're talking about building psychic flashcards, okay? So let's say Spirit wants to tell me that they were cremated, and they don't actually say the word cremated to me. They may hold up, I just happen to have a wooden box I keep my tarot cards in. They may hold up a wooden box that looks similar to this one. That's a way for me to know that somebody's cremated. They may hold up a typical metal urn, and I can see the metal urn and I know that they're cremated. Or even when somebody comes through and they want to tell me that you carry a piece of them with you. This one took a long time for me to learn because I had to understand what they were saying, so it took a lot of practice to understand it. And it was like this. I would see the urn, the big one, but then maybe it would take the shape of a heart, right? And I'd see that. And then maybe I'd see a chain on there. And I didn't know when I first started doing all this stuff that you could have your loved ones cremated and then put into an urn locket or another kind of locket that you can wear. So what started to happen along the way is I would say things like, hey, do you wear like an important piece of jewelry with you? Because they keep holding a chain up and it's like a heart, and I feel like for some reason they're showing me an urn at the same time, and people every time would be like, yeah, as a matter of fact, and they take off their necklace and or say they have it at home and say, yeah, my mom or my dad or somebody is in that urn that I wear around my necklace. So after a couple times of seeing those symbols put together, I understood now when I close my eyes, if somebody says or they bring out a small silver heart and an urn next to it, I know that you have an urn locket and that you carry your loved one with you, okay? So that is just sort of how you build these sorts of psychic abilities. No problem, Jax, you're not late, you're right on time. Nice to have you here. So if you have questions about this stuff, please do me a favor and you can ask. Did you guys feel the need to be in this world or actively tried? I don't know how to ask this. I felt the need to be here, Lisa. Especially after the things that I've done in my life. So if you have questions, this is your opportunity. Remember, this is for everybody tonight, but live on Wednesdays from 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time is for our fans and super fans, where they get to ask questions about mediumship and psychic development. So if you have questions, please ask them, and I'll do my best to answer them, especially around the idea of psychic development, mediumship, and what we're talking about is psychic flashcards, okay? Were you born like this? I was. I didn't seek this out. If you go to my main page when we're done here, the first pinned video on my account will explain to you exactly how I ended up here. How do they see what they look like? Do they show you their Earth body? Yeah. So, okay. So here's something funny that used to happen all the time. So my psychic flashcards, and yours could be built this way too. If you and I didn't know each other, right? But you wanted to describe. I'm speaking hypothetically here. If you wanted to describe your nephew to me, right? And you're like, well, he's tall and he's got brown hair and he's pretty handsome, and maybe you'd say something like, hey, did you ever watch that TV show, that '70s show, with Ashton Kutcher, the really tall, good-looking kid? And I'd say, yeah, of course. It was on for years. And you'd say, he kind of looks like that guy. Well, now I have a very good idea of what your nephew looks like, right? So when people want to show me uh, what they look like, and it needs to be a quick reference so that I can move forward, they may pick a famous person or an actor or somebody that I know personally, and say like, okay, describe this person, because this is as close as we can get with the description of what I look like and how they will know it's their person, right? Now, when I am one-on-one in readings, that's not as important, because basically I'm not like reading for 1,000 people. I'm reading for one or two people normally, and I can say like, hey, there's this older gentleman stepping forward. He's got gray hair and a mustache. He's wearing glasses, and they'll know like immediately who I'm talking about, because there's probably not many people that they've lost that look that way. But that's sort of how that works. Yeah. So and people ask me all the time like, hi Venus, nice to see you there. People ask me, hi Renee, nice to see you there. People ask me all the time like, do they show you as they were old, or do they show you as they are, how they want to look, or when they're young? It's all up to them how they want to portray themselves to me. Generally, they show me themselves as their older version when they passed, so that you can remember them as freshly as possible in that space. And then I've done readings where I'm talking to somebody who passed, and I remember this one specifically. The guy was a World War II vet. He came to me, he was really old. He passed like in his late 80s, and he had all these ailments and stuff. And then maybe like 2 years later, the same family rehired me. And I honestly, I forget these things. 2 years is a long time. I do a lot of readings in between. So basically what happened was, years later they rehired me, and I came back and I was like, there's this young guy here. And I described him again, and he was like in his military uniform. And I was like, didn't we have an older guy come through in a military uniform like a long time ago? And they're like, you're not going to believe this. You're describing our grandfather again, but you're describing him when he was like in his mid-20s, in his prime of life. So basically, they can look however they want. And this gentleman decided that he wanted to show me now, like, this is what I look like and how I want to be perceived. So it's a really interesting way to use those psychic flashcards. So let's build another. What are some common things that people show me that are important for you to build a psychic flashcard for? Well, let's talk about jewelry. That's usually a pretty common thing, and it's something that is easily identifiable because most of us have some jewelry, or have worn jewelry, or know somebody who does wear jewelry. So we're familiar with what a watch looks like, a necklace, and a bracelet, right? And there are all kinds of different kinds of jewelries, rings and earrings, of course. So let's focus actually on rings, because if you're going to do mediumship with people, rings are a very important part of what I do. And very early on, I learned about my psychic flashcard of our rings. Okay, so mostly men will come forward, and if they want to talk about their wife or their widow wearing a wedding ring that belonged to them, they will generally take a gold band, a plain gold wedding band, which mine is silver and black, but they'll take a silver or a gold wedding band, and they'll put it on a chain, and that's all they have to do. And I will know that the woman that I'm speaking with is wearing their husband's ring, or generally would wear it. That happens all the time. It's a very common thing, and it's super easy for people to understand. Hi, Lise Larson. Thank mods for being kind to me. Yeah, our mods are the best, aren't they? They do the best for everybody. And we appreciate that you feel comfortable here. It's very important. We get rid of anybody that wants to be rude or try to stir the pot here. So when women come through, Now, this can work on the mediumship and the psychic side of it. So, when women come through and they want to talk about their wedding or engagement rings, many times I'll see something much fancier. Usually, they'll bring me the diamond first, then they'll build the ring around it. Then, on top of that, um, they may talk to me about still having it and being buried with it, or it being passed on to a relative. And how does that look? So, if a psychic flashcard is a woman taking her wedding band and putting it in somebody else's hand, that's how I know that the person I'm talking to had a very important piece of jewelry and it got passed down to another generation. That took a long time to learn that. So those are the sorts of things that you can turn. My Grammy says Dalen sent me. Hey, what's up? Dalen's coming here on Saturday. He's coming here to New Jersey. We're going to be doing something special for you guys. My cat passed a couple years. I'm so sorry to hear that. You can definitely feel your love, your past fur babies coming over your way, for sure. They do that. So, hi, Brandy. Yep, welcome Graveyard Shift. We are the SGC, support great causes, something we love to do throughout the years here. So, we're talking about building our psychic flashcards and those sorts of things. So it's really fun. Nope, no crush tonight. We got, oh boy, my fingers are so beat up from the cold. So we are talking about our psychic flashcards. And again, you've probably had psychic flashcards occurring to you your entire life and just didn't understand it. Now, psychic flashcards don't necessarily have to be something that you see. They can be something you hear. Somebody asked me, like, what about music? Can music be a sign? Like if I wake up with lyrics in my head or if I wake up with a tune in my head? Yes. So psychic flashcards sometimes are external, and sometimes they're internal. I've heard lots of stories from people I've done readings for that their phone inexplicably, yeah, sure, that's the word, turned on and played a Beatles song that wasn't even on their playlist, and they were like, that was my mom's song, there's no reason it should have come up on my phone. Or Elvis came on, and my dad was a huge Elvis fan, it's not on my playlist, but I was driving down the road and my phone just turned on and Fools Rush In came on, and I broke down in tears, and I know that was my dad. That's a psychic flashcard. Now, what if you are sitting on the couch and you're watching television, right, and you're just chilling out and you're not really thinking about much because the day's over, kids are in bed, things are ready for tomorrow, and you're just chilling, you're watching some NCIS or something like that, right? And all of a sudden you think of Elvis and Only Fools Rush In, and it just pops in there, and you're like, what is that about? That is your sign that that is your mom or your dad, whoever that belonged to. That's their way of letting you know specifically that it's them. And you don't have to dismiss it as your own thought. It's not your imagination. If you were locked on to CSI Miami and all of a sudden, you know, you're like thinking about Elvis for no reason, and you know that your dad had a huge Elvis record collection, then you know that this is your dad trying to talk to you, and he's just finding an easy way to let you know that it's him, right? So those are musical psychic flashcards that we can use all the time. It's pretty specific, and it works when you are doing this for strangers as well. So it's difficult for us to know all of the music in the world, and Spirit knows that. So if somebody wanted to talk to me about a very specific song or record or something, they may not be able to exactly tell me about that, but they might show me a large record collection, and I might say something like, hey, did your dad have like an old radio that he really loved, and a huge record collection that he would play on that like all the time? And then you would know, like, oh, well, there's no way Scott would know about my dad's huge record collection. And then maybe I would hear the name Elvis, or I'd see a photo of Elvis in my head and I'd say, oh, specifically Elvis stuff, right? And you'd be like, yep, that's my dad, right? That is how the psychic flashcards work. It's really interesting. So let's see, plus I find dimes everywhere, but I don't know who it is. So that is more of a telling. So I always like to, when I find money especially, I say thank you, can you make it a little bit more next time? Don't want to be ungrateful, but we accept hundreds in the parking lot. Hi, Joanne. Nice to see you there. So I hope you're all enjoying this. If you're new here, welcome in. My name is Scott. I'm a medium and a psychic, and tonight I am teaching a little bit of a mediumship and psychic development class about psychic flashcards. If that's something that you're interested in, please do me a favor and find the subscribe button. And if you would like to become a fan and super fan and join in on these discussions every week, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Go ahead and find the fan or super fan link and join them that way, okay? So I appreciate everybody being here. Hi, Pink Crayola. Speaking of crayons, what's up? How are you? Just found this. Hi, Lynn Foster. Nice to see you there. Angel King. Nice to see you there. Framing it as a flashcard is cool. So, Angel, the reason I do that is because it's an easy way for me to relate what I'm experiencing to your human experience as well, to everything. And I am a human being. Let's just get this straight. For anybody out there who identifies differently, bless you. For me, I'm just a human being. I'm a dude. Like I always tell everybody, I have a regular job. I'm a regular guy. I'm a dad. I got bills to pay. I got mortgage. I got all the things, right? I got a foot on the right side that hurts all the time. I don't know. I'm just a regular dude. Um, so, but I do talk about having human experiences for each of us because we're all having a different point of view. On the same planet, we all have different feelings and thoughts, but there are some things that are very common and we can agree on pretty easily. Um, like that this is a can of Pepsi. We know that, right? So we can all agree on that. So I just try to find common ground and say, this is what it is. Lynn says, Scotty, I got my pillow. My grandson took a nap on with it yesterday. Awesome. Yeah, kids and pets love the pillows. I love that. Doors. It means anything that they just happen to look at the time coincides with my birthday. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but I think I understand. Um, so let's talk about our other kinds of flashcards. So again, audible flashcards, even words. Maybe you'll hear like a really funny phrase pop in your head, and it'll be like "Okie dokie silly yokio," and you're like, "Boy, Grandpa always used to say Okie dokie silly yokio. Why did I think of that right now?" And then you're like, then you can just rest assured that that's Grandpa just giving you a little like, "Hello, how are you?" Right? Don't dismiss those. Those are amazing moments. Don't just write them off. That's them for sure. Okay. So we're going to move forward into our emotional flashcards. Okay. Now, emotional flashcards are something that are very interesting to me. I'm a man. I'm a man for sure. I am not an emotional creature mostly. When I sit down to do mediumship, that stuff kind of changes for me. I put myself in a blank slate mindset, and I just sort of let myself feel, hear, and see anything that might be coming my way so I can be a better medium. So, one of the things that happens with emotional flashcards is basically like if I'm sitting here and I'm in my room and I feel happy and I'm in a pretty good mood, if I'm connecting with spirit and all of a sudden I feel the crushing weight of the world, anxiety, and sadness, I can say pretty clearly that the person who's connecting with me felt that way a lot. You may, when you're watching me do live readings, hear me talk about mental illness and wonder how I come up with that. That is an emotional state that I can feel in my body. And it's also, they do another thing. They show me a psychic flashcard, a visual one. So I get this feeling of sadness that comes with me and a little bit of like struggle, internal struggle. Like I don't know what to do. So those two things come together. And then I will literally see bees buzzing around in somebody's head. And that just lets me know that they weren't clear of thought and they had some mental illness. It's just sort of how my psychic ability developed to say like this is how you're going to experience emotional difficulty from other people when you're connecting with them. Okay, so they show me all the bees buzzing, so I know like okay, this person had a lot of mental illness. And then they might show me or make me feel like a lot of sadness and depression and or anger. And then to show like it's gotten very specific. So they might do that, and then they might be like, but also that just wasn't their personality, right? Then they'll draw me a line that goes like this, a black line. It goes up, down. And I'll say, oh, okay, I've learned that that means bipolar. They were oftentimes very, very sad, or oftentimes very, very happy. And that is part of that psychic flashcard stuff. Um, so that is how it goes. Vanessa, I looked at the clock twice, say 10:13. Yeah, a lot of people do that. It's interesting. What's the difference between energies? I'm confused what you mean, Tim. What are the differences between energies and cards? So they're both just, I'm just using the term flashcard when it comes to the emotional and energetic feeling. But they're the same thing. It's like somebody held up a card and it said sadness on it and put it on me and I could feel sadness. They held up a card that said happiness and put it on me and I could feel their happiness. Um, It's the same sort of thing. It's just a way for you to relate to the things that you're feeling while you're doing readings or while you're experiencing the world around you, so that you can understand that not everything in the world belongs to you emotionally. So let's say, for instance, you're having a really nice day. I like the grocery store because it's a place full of people and it's usually chaos. So let's say you go into the grocery store and you're having a good day. You got the cart, you got your list, writing things down, checking things off the list. You got the broccoli, you got the chips. We're good. And all of a sudden, like, you're like not really thinking about anything except for like, oh my gosh, where am I going to find fresh chives, right? And you're walking over near the area where you think it is, and all of a sudden you stop and you're like, oh, boy, do I feel sad. Why do I feel so sad? I was in such a good mood. And you close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, for some reason, you see the bottom jaw of somebody and you see their teeth, and the teeth are broken and beat up. And you're like, wow, that's sad. Why? What? Who is? And you say, okay, take a step back. I need to see the rest of you. And as they take a step back, you can see a woman. She's probably about 85 to 90 years old. She's lived a very long life, and her teeth are really gone. And as she's talking to you or showing you these things, right? She hasn't said anything yet. She points to her arm, and you can see that there's an IV there. And with the IV comes all kinds of ideas about treatment, right? And then she points to her teeth. Now for me, all this means is I've run into a woman who belongs to a living person. She probably passed away after having some severe treatment, and she's really sad about her teeth because they were her real teeth. She had them her whole life, and she took good care of her mouth. And then all of a sudden, she got really sick and she lost her teeth, and now she's really sad, and she feels that in that moment. Okay, and that's the sort of detail that you can bring through. By the way, that might be somebody's person here, just so you know, because I saw that very specifically. I didn't make that one up. That might be something that one of you are familiar with. So if you know who that is, I just want to let you know that person's okay. And she is pretty bummed about her teeth. Um, Tiffany likes the energy drink, the Ghost and Donuts energy drink sticker. Nice. Um, so Saul Goodman says, hey, what's up, Saul Goodman? It's easy to read people. So it's interesting you say that, Saul, because mostly what I do is I close my eyes. I don't look at the person at all because I don't want any interference from that person. And the best readings I've ever done in my life are ones over the phone where people are actually countries away from me. And that's a fact. So I don't need any visual stimulation whatsoever from anybody. As a matter of fact, I could walk into any place, close my eyes, put headphones on, and just do a reading, and I'd know I'd be accurate and on because I've been doing this so long. I don't need to read or cold read. I can just give you the information how it is. So yeah, how do you tell between different emotions? Because for me, when it comes to certain emotions, to me, they feel the same. Like when something is bothering them. Okay, so you just have to look. It's a good question, Barbara. For that, you have to look at yourself. How do you? Because they are not giving you anything that you don't understand. That's what's important. They're only able to access, and sometimes they can access information and kind of piece it together for you. But basically, they're especially when you're beginning, they're only going to give you information that you can really understand. So you understand happy, sad, angry, depressed, jubilant, probably like from your experiences. So they might say, they might, how do I explain this? So the first time that a spirit ever spoke to me and I could like really pin down what was happening, it was the gentleman Pop, who was my mom's friend's dad who passed. And he came and he was like showing me pictures of a photograph. I'm sorry, pictures of a wedding, photographs of a wedding, and he was really happy. So he made me feel happy, like I'm excited to be here, and then showed me pictures of a wedding. So I correlated his happiness with somebody getting married, and sure enough, somebody had gotten married. So that's really important for people to understand. So ask them. It's not just a one sort of thing. Um, it's not just one thing at a time, but when you want to build your ability, it is one thing at a time. It's one thing at a time as you go forward. Cindy says, my daughter just had a heart attack. I'm so sorry to hear that. She passed and was brought back to life. Only she went and saw the other side and bring back more psychic. Yeah, that happens very often. Yeah. Hi everybody, nice to see you there. Martin, I don't answer that question, sorry. How do you know when it It's time to make your gifts known to the public. So as you know, I'm also in law enforcement, or maybe you don't know that. So it took a little while for me to get brave. Or if you've never heard me say this before, I don't think that we're always brave, but I think there's moments in time where we pick up our bravery sword and we do what we have to do. And I felt that after about a year of me being told by other people that I was reading for, they were like, "Hey, you really need to step out. There's a lot of people who could use your help, and you're very good at this. And you're very." And I got this isn't me talking. This is other people who told me this that would go to mediums and psychics. They would tell me all the time, like, you do this much differently than other people, and you're very good at it, and you have a connection that other people don't. Even other mediums who are very good at this don't connect with the living people as well as you're doing it, and you put people at ease. So it's time for you to go out and do that. So with some encouragement, I just went out and did it. So years ago now, but yeah, that's when I felt it. So yeah, spirit will push you. They do. What's this channel about, says Trigger Happy? What's up? So this channel is about quite a few things. My name is Scott. I'm a medium and a psychic. I do free spirit-led mediumship readings right here on YouTube. And what my channel is about is giving a voice to those who have passed. We do paranormal investigations on our channel. We do psychic development on this channel. We do a little bit of vlogging about my not-so-paranormal life on this channel. And we do a lot of live stuff like this where I can interact with my audience and teach and help you all learn about yourselves and the world around you and make it not scary, because none of this is scary, I promise. Terry Swift, I don't know if she was Asian. I didn't really get to see her features that way, but if the rest of that fit for you and you understand who it is, you can know. So Trigger Happy, just so you know, I never charge anything. The way that I make money through the internet, at least, is through when you guys are kind and send gifts, or if you become a fan or a super fan. That's what keeps the lasers on here. And as far as charging for readings, I actually have a really long wait list, so I don't have an open list at the moment. Okay, so I'm not taking any new folks in here. If you're very interested in this Trigger Happy, just do me a favor, find the subscribe button, hang out with us, decide if you like me or not. I hope so. I always try to tell everybody I'm just a regular person who has some really interesting abilities, and I try to bring a lot of love, empathy, and compassion to what I do and to the folks around me. I really want everybody to know that. Thanks, Trigger Happy. I really want everybody to know here that I do care. And it's sometimes when I get negative feedback about what I'm doing, it emotionally hurts. And I try not to let that affect me, but I try to do my best to bring you guys the best that I can. Boss Lady, I read your thing. Last night, I believe I truly astral projected and woke up coughing and vibrating like crazy. So a lot of times when you get deep into meditation and it's an amazing feeling, you almost feel like you're floating and kind of like drifting away, and you might get a little scared and wake yourself up. That's that feeling of vibration. It's really interesting. Eli, happy birthday. Did you hear about the lady who drowned a bowl of cornflakes as a serial killing? That's a sick joke, actually. I like that. That's pretty dope. Thank you very much, Brandy. I appreciate you. You're very welcome, Boss Lady. I appreciate you. I appreciate you saying that. Bambi says, this is new to me. I want to keep tapping the screen to send hearts. Hi, Bambi. Yeah, so there is a little button over here. If you tap it, it opens up a tiny menu, and you can just tap, 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 tap away. And it'll let you do that. I have dreams when people are close and going through things or something is wrong. Why is it only people I'm close to? Could I expand this? Yeah, you could expand it for sure. So one of the things that, if you're going to be brave, if you're going to possess the bravery sword and go out and practice what we're talking about, one of the things you need to do is find people who are open and willing to help you and not to judge you for what you're doing. That's a really important thing. And I got to tell you, I was super lucky. I'm raised Catholic. I am Catholic. I was an altar boy. My kids go to, the same church I've gone to for pretty much my entire life. My family is religious, but they're very understanding. And when I came to them and said I'd be stepping out and doing this, nobody batted an eye. They were like, "Hey, be you if it makes you happy," right? And that's what I want for all of you. So that is important for people to understand. So if you're going to step out and be brave, find people that will understand you and not judge you, and who will guide you instead of shutting you down. Because I have run into, and this is important, I've run into things in my life, and you shouldn't be afraid of this, because it wasn't scary, it was just a lesson. There are people that are going to talk to you, and even if when you close your eyes, you're going to say, hey, listen, I see X, Y, and Z. And it's a gentleman. He's dressed in a black robe, and he's got a gavel, and he's got grayish brown hair, and it's brushed to the side, and he's got a bit of a mustache. And behind him, there's a boat, so I can see. I think he might have been a judge, or he may have been judgy, and he owned a boat. And there's something really important about that. Maybe he was a judge about boats or something. But those, and you could really get super close to something really important, and the person you're talking to could know damn well that's their Uncle Jim, who was a judge and who loved his boats on the weekend. And they would know that specifically you were talking about that. And because they don't want to believe in your abilities or the abilities of people like us, they would say no, that they have no idea what you're talking about and shut you down. So we don't want anybody like that. We want people who will accept us and help us. And when you give that description and tell them like, hey, I feel like I'm looking at a judge in a boat and a guy named Jim, and they're going to say, oh, that's my Uncle Jim for sure. Becky St. John, thank you so much for the super. I appreciate you. Magical. So just remember that, okay? And remember this. Hi, Lovejoy. Remember this too. It's very important. This lesson is we're talking about building our psychic flashcards. Basically, this is important. It's not your job to change the mind of the people who don't believe. As you can see here, we don't want to create an echo chamber. Anybody who has a different point of view than me, anybody who doesn't believe in this, anybody who's skeptical of this, they have a place here, believe it or not. I welcome them to be here with us, as long as they're going to show the same kindness and respect that I show them. Because I have a completely different point of view than them, but I don't have to go being a mean jerk about it. I just like being opening and accepting of them as I am of everybody, until they personally are being disruptive or a problem for us where we can't focus on what we're doing. So remember, as you're going through life, you're going to run into people, even though you know you're dead on, you know you're accurate, you know that this stuff is happening, it's your experience that it's happening. Those folks are still going to say like, no, not my house. No, it doesn't happen. It's not real. Science, religion, they'll give you some reason, okay? And it's fine. Just say, I respect what you have to say. We have a different opinion, and we can move past this, and we can chat about something else that maybe we both can agree on, okay? Those sorts of things. And it's very important, okay? Should a card or a dictionary be used, or is it possible to do mediumship without using it? I've never used a card or a dictionary. You mean like psychically? You don't. Basically, what happens is, that's a good question. So basically what I think you're asking me is, do you always need to use these like flashcards or like the words in the dictionary like that you're describing so that you can understand what's happening? No. So eventually, basically what will just happen is all of these things will just present themselves, and the flashcards will be gone, and you'll just understand the spirit of language. Just like I was saying, if you missed in the beginning of this, I said, what's this? Everybody said it's a heart, and then we know this is a snowman, and that's a silly sign, and these are lasers. You already know all of this just by looking at it and identifying it. You don't need me to say it to you, because you've already identified it. You don't need this flashcard to come up in your head and be like, that's a heart. No, not important. You already know. You identified it immediately. And that's how good your abilities are going to become with practice. And I'd like to say thank you to my mod, Jen. Thank you so much for sending out a gift subscription. It's magical. Thanks, Jen. I appreciate you for everything you do. I feel like something is opening up spiritually with me, like insight. That's awesome, Lovejoy. That is part of the reason why I'm here, and I teach this is, by the way, I'm still going to put these videos up. I want everybody to have access to this stuff, and there are mediums and psychics and probably people who aren't medium or psychic who teach this stuff, and they charge thousands of dollars for courses and certification. I don't want to do that. I want to make this very available to people, and I've always done this. I like to teach, and I like you to have access to stuff, because we don't all have thousands of dollars to get certified or anything like that. But I appreciate all of you folks who are willing to put up $5 or $7 a month and get this content for inexpensive while helping me grow and do all that stuff. I think it's a pretty fair trade-off for all of the amazing information that I have for you folks. So I do appreciate it. See, so Flower says repent. Repent against what, Flower? Flower, what does repent mean? If you can explain it to me. I'm new to your channel, but I love the vibes, peaceful and knowledgeable. Yeah, that's what we try to be. And then, see what I mean? So people want to come in. Lisa Larson, I sent $2 to show I was genuinely curious. Thank you very much. It was magical. So when people come in and they have like silly words to say, they don't even really know what they mean. They just say them because their mom or their grandma told them to say it, and they are genuinely scared. And it's okay. We want to treat those people with love and respect as well. As a matter of fact, I try to be overly nice to folks like that because the very thing that they are saying repent against is the same thing that they're trying to achieve themselves, possibly, right? So I think it's very important. Um, I've waited 25 years to find guidance and not have not broke, so I'm very grateful, and not have to be broke. So you're very welcome, boss lady. I'm happy that we can help you with that. Hi everybody. Hi Carrie. Thank you so much. Love, love, love. Skies. Oh, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, you don't. Nobody has to give me a chance. That's fine. I know that 179 people are giving me a chance right now. So, if you have questions about this kind of stuff, always just ask me. I do my best, and of course, we try to do our best to answer everything as best we could. Could psychic cards maybe become across automatic writing and drawing possibly? Yeah, as a matter of fact. Oh, Michelle, thank you so much for the $5. Super. Um, so yeah, sometimes, and we haven't done this here on YouTube yet, um, but like the other night, I think we were on Dalen's channel, and I was talking about snow globes, and I was drawing very specific ones. This one was a snow globe with um, a city in the middle and a rainbow over it, and it might have had some writing or something underneath it. And sometimes if I can't quite make out what something is, one we'll learn about this later on, but um, sometimes it's better not to name something, but just to describe it. And I'll talk to you about something we haven't done here before, and I'll help you understand what I mean by that. I don't have any good drawings in this book. I haven't had to do them lately, but sometimes I see things and I'm like, "What is this?" And I'll draw it, and people will be like, "Oh, that's a weird paperweight that my dad kept on his desk for years," right? So like that's really interesting because I wouldn't know about a paperweight that looked like in a funny shape or something, And they'll be like, "Yeah, that's what it is." So I didn't have a psychic flashcard for it. So basically, they played Pictionary with me, and they're like, "All right, draw some squiggly lines, put a line, and then I'll just draw it. Like I'm not an artist, I scribble, and I'll be like, "Do you understand what this is?" And they'll be like, "Yeah, I absolutely know." So let's see. So the other thing that we haven't done here yet, who here has heard of remote viewing? Anybody? Anybody ever heard of remote viewing? And we'll talk about this because this has to do with psychic flashcards, and it's the difference between knowing what something is and being like, that's a heart, or describing something and drawing it without actually knowing what it is. Okay, so a lot of you who've come over from TikTok with me have seen me do live remote viewing. So I'm going to tell you what remote viewing is briefly at the end of this here, and then maybe we'll do a video on it and I can explain it to you and do it live for you, okay? So remote viewing is like this. It's not talking to dead people. Remote viewing is completely different than mediumship, and it is a wonder and an oddity to me that it is a thing that can happen. Okay. And for fun on TikTok, what we would do is I would pick some of my subscribers or you guys who are fans and super fans here on YouTube, and I'd say, okay, do I have your permission to sort of lock onto your energy and describe something that's happened very specifically within the last 24 to 48 hours to you specifically, right? And the person would usually say yes. I don't think I ever had anybody say no. And then I'd say, okay, so yesterday I remember this one. It was funny. I was like, you were eating ice cream and like the whole cone fell on the ground. And the lady was like, yeah, that actually just happened yesterday. So I knew that I was psychically linked to her because I could see that very specifically it happened. And then I'd say, okay, I think this is the same lady. I thought this was pretty interesting. And I was like, okay, so in the room that you're in, instead of knowing what something is, I described it, and I might have done some drawing for this. And I was like, okay, there's like this. It looks like it might be the color pink, and it's really fluffy, and it's got all these like frilly things on it. And then there's this other pattern that's like a black and white, looks like a checkerboard or a chessboard. It's that sort of pattern. And then I described something really funny, and the lady was laughing. She's like, "Well, you described my pillow. I think I described her blanket. So the pillow was the pink fluffy thing. The blanket was the checkerboard. And then I described this other thing." And she was like, "I'm kind of embarrassed, but that is an adult novelty thing." And I was like, "Okay." And then another time we named some paraphernalia for the devil's lettuce, which I don't care how about any of that stuff. I think it was very funny. So those are the sorts of things, and we did it live. So what happens when we do those sorts of things live is you guys know that you're watching from wherever you are. And when I'm talking about people who are deceased, I'm really connecting to that side over there, right? And that's something that is really a relationship between them, me, and you. Oh, Pamela, thank you so much. That is super. And you get a chicken cluck. Thank you, Pam. I appreciate you. So, with that, right? That is remote viewing. So we can tap into the people who are alive and then describe the things that are around them without naming them. Because once you name them, you could be really, really wrong. This is a thing that the CIA actually taught people and did extensive research on. So one day when I was like, hey, we do mediumship all the time, but I know how to remote view. It's just kind of something that I figured out how to do. I was like, let's do it live and see if it actually works, right? As an experiment. And then we started doing it and it worked really well. A lot of my moderators that were here for that, they saw a lot of it and it was just really an amazing thing. So if you all would like me to do some remote viewing for you as well as mediumship, I think that that would be fun to do here on YouTube. And it's really fun because we would remote view things and then people would take pictures of what I saw and described in their room and they would put them up in our Discord, which is in the link of this description of this video. So if you want to join our Discord, just go find the link in the description and you can go ahead and join it. And then when we do remote viewing and I'm like describing stuff for you, you can say like, oh my gosh, yeah, and I'll put a pic. You can put a picture in Discord, and if it's okay with you, I'll make videos because I think it's really interesting. It's really fun because what it does is it takes away the doubt that we're really doing something extraordinary. And it's not about me. I'm here to tell you that you can do this stuff. All of you. You all have this to some degree. That's why I'm teaching you about your psychic flashcards because through your life you have had contact with the other side and really probably not known it. You've gotten ideas that were inspired. You've had intuitive moments where you knew something was good or bad. You've had a feeling that just wouldn't die and you acted on it and it turned out to be maybe one of the best things you've ever done. It's that sort of thing that I want you to understand is not supernatural. It's built into you. It's a part of us. It's a part of the world around us. And I think it's interesting. Have you yourself ever had a reading by another psychic? Not a good one. No. There are people who have presented themselves to me as mediums or psychics, and I'm just as open with everybody as I am as people are with me. I'm an open book. And people have just they haven't been close. I've tried to be nice to people and like let them. I don't know. I don't want to be rude about it because then it makes me sound like a turd, and I'm not. So, but yeah, nobody's ever really accurately given me a good reading. Yeah, people try to fake it to me, yeah, basically. um, but I don't think that they were doing it on purpose. I think they were really trying and attempting to do the right thing and try to develop their own abilities, and they just weren't hitting home. Um, so is Astra Thomas in here? Oh, what's up, girl? Everybody do me a favor. Um, this is my friend Astra Thomas. I was just thinking about you. All those things that you sent to me, by the way, Astra Thomas, I have right here. Would you want to do a live with me on YouTube one of these days and we can build some of the cool stuff you sent me? I am so sorry that we lost contact, but I really want to keep our relationship going. Astra Thomas is really awesome. She builds a lot of miniverse and cool crafty stuff. So if you're really into that stuff, please do me a favor and subscribe to her channel. She is awesome. She's a school teacher, and any money that she makes on TikTok or I don't know if she does it here on YouTube, but she donates it to her school in order to help the classes run better. She's a really wonderful human being, and I love her a lot. So please do me a favor. It's so fun. See, you were linked up with me. We were having a psychic moment. So my psychic flashcard of your lovely face um, is what helped. So anybody watching the replay, I'll make sure that I put a link up for her down here in the description for you guys so you can join her. So yeah, so those are the psychic flashcards and how they work. So do you guys have any questions about that stuff? Samantha, what's up? Tiffany, um, yeah, she's a lovely lady. I'd like to subscribe and craft her big time. Yeah, go subscribe to Astra Tom. She's fantastic. Lisa Larson Sky really has interesting videos on the show. Oh, thank you very much. I try. I want to definitely make sure that I bring the best content that I can to you as best I can. What happens on this channel? I'm new here. Hi, Circus Cult. What's up? So basically on my channel, we have a couple different kinds of content, but it's all basically the same. Our videos, our long form videos about paranormal investigations. I also teach mediumship and psychic courses here, or classes, which is what we're doing right now. I do free spirit led mediumship readings live on our things. We're going to be doing that tomorrow. We also do we do all kinds of stuff. It's fun. We have a good time. Mostly we have fun, and I think that's the most important part. So I hope that you enjoy having a good time with a good community, because that's what we do here. If you have kids, are you worried or excited they have your ability? I have a son, and I don't know if he'd be scared or excited. Um, my oldest daughter seems to have it. It's not scary to me. Um, for my younger kids, they seem to have it. I don't think it's scary. It When I was growing up, it was scary because I didn't have anybody to guide me because I'm adopted. Nobody knew what I was doing. It wasn't like, we had a grandma in the family that was like clairvoyant. So it was, for me, it was growing up. My family didn't know what to make of the things that I'd say to them about all the stuff that I was experiencing. And it's fine. It's not their fault, just the way that life was. And it made me better because I had to really figure it out for myself. Now, as my kids come through this, if I don't push it on them, we don't have the extent of the ghost stuff in this house is Ghostbusters, like made up stuff. We don't keep any spooky or creepy decor here because I don't want them to think that this is creepy or spooky. So that way, one day, if my daughter or my son wake up and they're like, hey, I think I'm talking to people who aren't here, then I can sit down and explain to them what is happening in a very down to earth, easy, not scary way, just the way I talk to you guys, right? So, yeah. Um, can you read your loved ones? Not really. And the reason I cannot is because I, here's what's funny. And this is in my opinion, how you know if somebody's like faking it or real or whatever you want to say. Um, I know too much about my own family, living and dead, to do an accurate reading for them. So basically, the less I know about somebody, the better. When I book readings, the only thing that normally I get is an email address and a phone number. I don't ask for names. I don't care. They sounds rude, but I don't need to know anything about you. All I need is an email address so I can send a Zoom link, and a phone number to call or text in case you're not picking up the link, in case you're not there when I expect you to be, so we can make sure we keep our appointment. Other than that, I don't need anything. So the less I know about somebody, the better. As a matter of fact, like I said, Zoom readings became a thing during COVID, because that's the way the world went, and I got very comfortable with, and people like to see my face, and see what I'm doing while we're doing the readings. But phone readings were, for a long time, what I did all the time, and they were really amazing because there's nothing to focus on. It's just what's here, and I didn't have to feel like I was entertaining anybody by being on a screen. I could literally just be, and sometimes I'd tell them, I'd be like, listen, the phone's not dead. We didn't lose each other. I'm just going to be quiet for a minute, and you're not going to hear anything because I'm focusing on what I need to hear or see on the other side. And it was a really interesting way that it went. You hear a little doggy. That's Finn. He should be sleeping, but he's not. It's probably him saying, Dad, it's 10 o'clock. It's time to go to work. So yeah, I'm adopted too. I don't know my natural family. I thought you looked like a wagoner since I saw you, like Beefy and Uncle Bernard. That's funny, Angel King. I like that. My family, I do know my family, my blood relatives, or at least some of them. And we're from, you guys can laugh, West Virginia. I know some of you are from West Virginia. Don't ask me from where because I don't know. So that's it. But thank you for that funny comment. Anyways, it's time for me to wrap it up. If you enjoyed this, please do me a favor. Remember, on Wednesdays, this was a free preview for everybody. If you like this kind of content, this kind of discussion where I teach you something about mediumship and psychic development, you can ask me questions. This is for our fans and super fans. So if you want to have this sort of mentorship, it's literally $5 a month for some of you, and if you want to be a super fan, I think it's $7 or $8. So thank you for that. In the meantime, when this video ends, please do me a favor, come back later and find it, write a nice comment in the regular comment section, and if you do like it, do me a favor, hit the share button, put it on your Facebook or put it on your Instagram stories, or somewhere where you can post it nice. I really do appreciate it. It helps the channel grow, and it helps show good engagement here on YouTube, so that we can keep growing, making our family bigger, and we can keep reaching more amazing people just like you. All right. It has been a lovely evening, but now I got to go put on my uniform and get to regular work. So again, thank you everybody for being here with me. I appreciate you. It's been such a nice pleasure talking to everybody. Sorry for the I prefer, actually, I'm a Coca, if I'm drinking regular soda with sugar in it, I'm a Coca-Cola man. But unfortunately, Coca-Cola doesn't make a product that is diet, that is extra caffeine, which is what I need before work. So we just saying, don't tell the Pepsi drinkers that. I get so upset. All right, everybody. Again, thank you, moderators. Thank you for being here. Everybody who sent a super, thank you so much. If you became a fan or a super fan, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I promise you that I'm going to bring you the same amazing content that you may have been used to on TikTok, but now we're doing it over here on YouTube. It's a lot of fun. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Thank you again. I appreciate you. What do we say here? Ah, yes. Peace and peppermint. Have a great night.